RP, how will I know that if I open my business, it will be successful?
Now, this is one of the most common questions I get asked, especially by first-time entrepreneurs. Unfortunately, there is no way of knowing for sure whether or not a business will succeed or fail. However, there are a few questions you can ask yourself to try and see whether or not you are at least headed towards the right direction. First, ask yourself, what is my value proposition? When we say value proposition, it simply means how does your product or service solve a problem or a need of a customer. Now, while having something that solves a problem that no one else in the market can do is the dream of every startup business, it is important to note that you don't have to go and invent a new category each time you want to open up a business. There are a lot of brands out there whose main ticket success has been to improve on what is already an established product or service. For example, McDonald's didn't invent the restaurant industry. They just did it in a way that people appreciated the fact that they were getting their food a lot faster. Hence the term fast food. And that was their value proposition. Question number 2, is my product or service fairly priced? Now this is a bit argumentative. You see, there are a lot of factors that go into determining whether or not a product is priced fairly or correctly. For example, a taxi cab and an Uber is essentially the same kind of service. However, people are willing to pay more for an Uber because it gives you an added feature of convenience. See, with an Uber, you no longer have to stand by the side of the road to hail for a ride. Instead, you can stay inside your house or a cafe while waiting for your ride to arrive. And the market has shown that consumers are willing to pay more for this particular feature. Third question you need to ask yourself is, will customers come back? Similar to the first question earlier, which is value proposition, now you need to understand whether or not your customers or consumers will need the value that you provide on more than one occasion. Using our example earlier, which is the fast food industry, obviously people will have to eat again. Now the question is, when they get hungry, are they coming back to you? Or do you maybe need a second or a third value-adding proposition to make sure that that happens? For example, aside from being fast, are you consistently good? Do you offer something in your menu that only you are able to offer around that area? See, most of the time, to keep customers coming back to you, you need to give them multiple reasons to do so. Fourth question, does your brand have credibility? Now, if you look at the meaning of the word credibility, it means the quality of being trusted. This is extremely important when it comes to building a brand because this helps influence consumers about how they feel about you and ultimately whether or not they want to buy your product or service. I mean, think about it. Do you want to buy something from somebody whom you think you cannot trust? That's how credibility works. That is so important, in fact, that I have clients who hire me just for brand building credibility alone. How is this done? Step 1 is making sure that each and every time that a customer uses your product or service, it lives up to the promise. So there you go. The 4 questions I believe you need to ask yourself first before venturing into any kind of business to give yourself a higher chance at success. Take care.